radio listeners, the time is 9:30 p.m. Coming up, the main evening news. Good evening, main evening news reader, listener. This is your announcer, Yassine. I'd like to present you first the news main points. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince receives Commander of Western Region. Fighting intensifies between opposition fighters and regimists for two military bases in northern Syria. Algerian president treated in Paris hospital over minor stroke. And father of Boston Marathon bombing suspect abandoned travel plans to U.S. over illness. We start with the national items. His Royal Highness Crown Prince Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Deputy Premier, and the Minister of Defense have received here today the Commander of Western Region, Major General Mohammed bin Salman Hazab, and the commanders of the branches of armed forces in the Western Region, who came to greet His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. The audience was attended by Prince Fahd bin Abdullah bin Mohammed, Deputy Defense Minister, Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz, Chief of the Corps of the Crown Prince, and his Special Advisor and Director General of the Office of Defense, Mr. Lieutenant General Abdurrahman bin Salah Al Baniyan. His Royal Highness Prince Al Faisal, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, received here today Minister of Overseas Indian Affairs Vayala Ravi and the accompanying delegation. During the meeting, they discussed a number of issues of common interest. The opposition fighters seeking to topple President Bashar al-Assad fought intense battles with his troops on Sunday at two military air bases in northern Syria, experts said. The fighting raged inside the sprawling Abu Zuhur air base in northwestern Idlib province and the Quiris military air base in northern Aleppo province, according to a report of the Associated Press. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said at least 7 fighters were killed in the fighting in Abu Zuhur, in addition to an unknown number of soldiers. The group, which relies on network of activities, or activists rather, on the ground, said the Air Force of al-Assad regime conducted an airstrike on Abu Zuhur village during the fighting to ease pressure on government troops. Inside their air base, the fighters entered the two air bases on Saturday. Both had been under siege for months. The Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi and top judges agreed on Sunday to seek a compromise and diffuse a battle over Islamist attempts to force out thousands of judges that have deeply polarized the Arab world's most populous nations. Morsi's Islamic allies had proposed legislation to purge more than 3,000 judges at a stroke by reducing their mandatory retirement age to 60 from 70 to sweep away senior jurists appointed under autocratic former President Hosni Mubarak. But after nearly 3 hours of talks, the President's office and the Supreme Judicial Council said they had agreed to launch a conference on the future of the justice system that would work out a reform acceptable to both sides. Algerian President Abdelaziz Bouteflika was being treated at a Paris hospital following a minor stroke, French media reported Sunday. According to the Dutch press agency, Bouteflika, 76, was flown to Val de Grace Military Hospital overnight from Algiers, where he was admitted to a local hospital Saturday with a reported transient ischemic attack in which blood stops flowing to the brain. The condition is often described as a minor stroke. Doctors at the Algiers clinic said there was no cause for concern, but the stroke apparently caused no lasting damage, the Algerian news agency reported. Algerian Prime Minister Abdelmalek Salam also gave assurances that Bouteflika's life was not in danger. You're listening to Radio Riyadh English Service. Some more international news if you have just joined us. Several Syrian missiles landed in neighboring Jordan Sunday, witnesses and security sources said, as Damascus renewed its aerial bombardment of rebel-held areas along the border and elsewhere. Residents said several missiles landed in the northern village of Sanaybet, setting several acres of farmland ablaze. Jordanian security sources confirmed the missile landings, saying no casualties or damage was reported. The incident came less than 24 hours after 3 missiles reportedly landed near the village of Sahran outside the city of Muscat. The area hosts more than 500,000 Syrians who have sought refuge in Jordan during the 10-year conflict. Police in Bangladesh arrested the owner of the collapsed 8-story building in Dhaka as the rising death toll exceeded the 370 mark Sunday. The human-faced priest who had built a death trap here was arrested while trying to flee the country, a local government minister said while touring the scene of the accident. Sohail Rana, a local politician with the ruling Awami League party, was captured near the border with India and is being flown back to Dhaka to face questioning, security sources said. Rana is also accused of using substandard materials during construction works, which were completed in 2006. Thousands of angry workers and residents have taken to the streets to demand a tax penalty for those responsible for the building in Savar, 25 kilometers northwest of Dhaka. The structure housed 5 garment factories, a bank, and several shops before it crumbled on Wednesday. The father of the Boston Marathon bombing suspect has abandoned plans to travel to the United States to bury one son and help in the defense of the other. He told Reuters on Sunday in an interview in southern Russia. Andor Sarnev said he believes he would not be allowed to see his surviving son Tokar, who was captured and has been charged in connection with the April 15th bomb blast that killed 3 people and wounded 264. I'm not going back to the United States for now. I'm here. I'm ill. Sarnev said. He agreed to the face-to-face interview on condition that his location in the North Caucasus and string of mainly Muslim provinces in southern Russia not be disclosed. Unfortunately, I can't help my child in any way. I'm in touch with Zokar's and my own lawyers. They told me they would let me know what to do, he said. And finally, at least 2 people died Sunday in an explosion and partial collapse of a 4-story residential building in northern France. The reports, according to the fire department, said at least 10 people were injured and other people were trapped in the rubble and rains in the Champagne region. The BF News channel reported the gas leak was believed to be the cause. The explosion was extremely strong because it shattered the windows in the building's front of it. Mayor Anthony Hazan told the channel. And now let's review for this evening's main points. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Turkey's commander of Western region, fighting intensified between opposition fighters and regiments regiments on 2 military bases in northern Syria. Algeria president treated in Paris hospital over minor stroke. And father of Boston Marathon bombing suspects abandoned travel plans due to illness. That concludes our news in English for this evening, listeners. It was presented by Khadija Singh and Neil Sunday, wishing you a very pleasant evening, Radio Riyadh.